think that if you send recruiting, if you do a good job, number one, by your loan officers, and number two, by communicating and educating the public on what you stand for, you shouldn't have to recruit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do VA loans, and you know Ross Mortgage's leaders love them and invest in them and put money into them and want to be the leader in them.
Well, take your Matt Stevens, for example.
Right.
You have an individual that's in a situation that is not favorable for his mission as a loan officer.
Right.
And here it is. This bond is suddenly made at a mortgage conference in Orlando. This bond is made, and it just clicks.
Yep.
And it's very easy to click with like-minded individuals when you guys are firing in the same direction.
Yep. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, and he'll tell you the same thing. I did not recruit him.
Right.
We happened to sit at the same table, happened to be eating lunch together. He was asking me questions on what we stand for. I told him what we stood for. 30 days later, he opened a branch with us.
Well,
I never even said, "Would you like to come work for us?" I just told him what we stood for. Told him how, I've talked to him about entrepreneurship. How at Ross we understand that you are going to brand yourself, and we're not going to hold you back. We're going to support you. Actually, the complete opposite. We're gonna ride your coattails.
Yeah.
We're gonna say to you, no, you don't have to say Ross Mortgage. We're gonna say to you, would you?
Right.
Would you throw our name in there when
Yeah.
you're doing these, when you're doing these videos? And that's what we do. I mean, that's what we do with Matthew Stevens. We say to him, we're like, hey, bud, could you maybe drop a little Ross Mortgage in this video? And of course he will, but it's not, hey, you can't do that. You got to start off. You got to have our logo behind you. You got to have this. You got to have that. No, none of that stuff, because that's, A, they're going to leave. And two, they're going to leave anyways. The bottom line is, this is a relationship-based business, and the loan officers own the relationship. It just is what it is.
Well, another part of that too is the ability to have individuals, like you said, I spoke to Matt. I believed in what Ross Mortgage did enough to say, hey, there's all these good things that you need to take, and this is a good thing, a good package that you need to receive.
Yeah.
Versus saying, oh, bro, come to Benchmark.
Yeah.
Benchmark wasn't necessarily the best fit for his situation.
Yeah.
It's not because there's anything wrong with Matt, because we know he's a great individual,
Yep.
but because his mission was just a little bit different than what ours is. We're trying to achieve the same thing. We're trying to help veterans. We're trying to accomplish certain things. But when you look at the fit, it's like, hey, you plug this one over here, it's going to work.
That's what sold me on Alex. That's when I realized he wasn't just an asshole. No, I'm not kidding though, man. When Matthew called me up and said, hey, talk to Alex, and gave me two thumbs up and all that stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, there's not a lot of loan officers that would have done that. A lot of loan officers wouldn't have bashed me, but they would have said, hey, Ross is great. Do you want to talk to McMahon? Do you want to talk to my guy and just get a second opinion? Never even came out of his mouth. And I'm telling you, there's a ton of loan officers that, again, they wouldn't bash me, but they'd say, hey, man, make your decision on your own, but can I give you a second opinion? He never even did that. So, I mean, I was like, dude, that's awesome. But, again, that goes to branching out, meeting people, and forming friendships. He wouldn't do that to me, right? And I wouldn't do it to him. If someone called me up and asked about Alex and Benchmark, I'd freaking give him a glowing response, I mean, they're killing it. How could you not, right? And I think that's because we're not just peers. We're friends.
But that's where that comes from. It's when you truly believe in something. It's no different from anything else. Like if you deep in your heart believe, it's easy to communicate that information. And that's why, with us serving veterans, that's so important, because you truly believe in the passion of serving these individuals, that no matter what it takes, it doesn't seem like hard work.
Yep.
And when it comes to serving veterans, that's the biggest thing. It's like, hey, you know what? We'll climb any mountain, cross any hill, or cross any river, I should say, not hill. It'd be crossing a hill for me. But, when you're willing to do that, that passion's there. It's not work.
Absolutely.